Stephen A is someone who talks a lot about rings, and you don't know what it takes to win a ring because you've never won a ring and you've never gone through it.
There
And
you
you
go.
don't understand it because you've never gone through it. And that's what I felt like Bron was getting at. Like verbatim, I think, Stephen A and him been having their thing. And to me, as soon as I heard it, I watched it, I was like, that's what I came away with it. It felt like he's talking directly to Stephen A and those type of guys. And if you've never done it, you don't know how hard it is. So in turn,
But let's be real. This video is brought to you by Clutch Sports and LeBron and Rich Paul. Draymond Green defends his king, LeBron James. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
Ron recently said ring culture has hurt the game. It's basically that judging greatness only by championships disrespect legends like Iverson and Barkley. Do you agree with that?
I
Blazing
definitely
time.
agree with him.
Here we go.
I think that, our narrative and our stories have been in the hands of, media or reporters, and it's like their opinion, right? And not to disrespect, them in the game because they play a big part of the game, but the stories should be told from the players themselves, right? The perspective of who they are and what we mean. And so when you think about ring culture, it's becoming, something that's kind of like corporatizing or stelling the conversation about really what this game is about. It's, you as a kid play basketball to fit in on a team, right? And develop a game and a style that ultimately evolves into, you know, Draymond Green, Hall of Fame, right? So your accolades is one thing, but it's more so like your story, your journey, right? What you did, how you get there, how you overcame, right? And so as overachievers, right, people who don't necessarily understand that can paint whatever picture that they want to paint for you in your time in the league. So you can paint whatever narrative you want. And that's what I don't like.
Yeah, I get it. Coming from Baron Davis, I know he's doing a lot of yapping right now, but he didn't win a ring, but he's still, one of those solid point guards to be remembered for years to come. Well, after he retired, you're still talking about Baron Davis to some capacity. So coming from Baron Davis, I understand not trying to feed into you got to have a ring narrative to really be considered a great player. Again, I get it, but I know Draymond Green, he's pro LeBron, pro Clutch Sports. So I already know the position he's going to take, but we're going to go ahead and let the video play out a little bit.
I think ring culture took a big turn and came into play in large part due to the success of the Golden State Warriors.
I agree.
What I would say about what Bron said is this. I think
Here we go.
ultimately what Bron was saying is what I took away from it is you get guys like a Stephen A. Here's what I took away from it verbatim. To me, it felt like Stephen A is someone who talks a lot about rings, and you don't know what it takes to win a ring because you've never won a ring and you've never gone through it.
There
And
you
you
go.
don't understand it because you've never gone through it that sometimes when you get an opportunity to win and you don't kick that door down, it can change everything. And because you don't know how hard it is because you've never gone through it, then you start using it to lessen the greatness of some of the greats.
Yeah, I get what you're saying there, but let's be real. This video is brought to you by Clutch Sports and LeBron and Rich Paul. It's okay, Draymond. You might as well just go flat out and say it. I'm pro LeBron. Whatever he says, I agree with. I want to stay within that network, and I'm going to do everything in my power to help his legacy. So LeBron James, the reason he said that was only because of the whole Jordan and LeBron narrative. Who's better? Jordan's way better. LeBron doesn't stand a chance. So this is his way of, moving the goalposts a little bit. Let me negate the fact that I left Cleveland to go to Miami to win championships and then left Miami to try to win another championship to try to solidify my legacy by bringing a championship championship to Cleveland, and then left that team, then went to the Lakers and won another championship. So LeBron James saying it doesn't hold any merit. He's capping right now. He's trying to move the goalposts to try to, lessen the value of winning championships, to say that he's better than Jordan. And of course, again, Draymond Green, Clutch Sports client. He works for LeBron, and he's going to do everything in his power to support his king, LeBron James.
And is having a ring important? Of course. Like, does it add to legacy? Does it stamp legacies? Absolutely. Not going to sit here and act like having rings or a ring don't matter. It does matter. But it doesn't make Barkley less great as he was. It doesn't make Allen Iverson less great than what they were. And I think when people use it, they use it to kind of dim the greatness, dim the light on guys. And that's what I felt like Bron was getting at. Like verbatim, I think, Stephen A. and him been having their thing. And to me, as soon as I heard it, I watched it, I was like, that's what I came away with it. It felt like he's talking directly to Stephen A. and those type of guys. And if you've never done it, you don't know how hard it is. So in turn,
you don't even know how hard it is to try and get there, man. There are more great players than great players that won rings.
Yes.
Yeah, we get it. Stephen A. never won a championship, but what he's saying makes sense. Yeah, and it's obvious he's just trying to push the narrative between him and Michael Jordan. And then Draymond Green, he's going along with it. But Draymond, you've been talking about rings. Every time you want to flex on a player that talks junk, you always say they got to win rings. So I don't know why he's changing his tune now, just because what LeBron said. So it's obvious he's going to go with whatever LeBron says, and he's going to support his king no matter what.
1,000%.
Right? So there are more great players who haven't won rings than the great players that have won rings. Mm-hmm. And like, that's the way we got to look at it, is like, that's what, like, I was looking at Magic, right? I was
this is sad, man,
on the little history of the game site, and I was going through Magic, and I was like, man, Magic had 5. That means in an entire decade, right, there were only 5 other winners. But Bird had, 3?
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves 2 for damn near your career, right? You got a shot at being a champion in 2 of the 10 years, every 10 years you play.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we know it's levels when you win championships. We know that's what's going to set you apart. You don't got to disrespect players like Allen Iverson, Charles Barkley, John Stockton, those greats that never won a championship. They can still be greats to a certain degree. But again, when LeBron says it, that's when the whole media, the new media, changes the narrative. So I expect Nick Wright, Shannon Sharpe, Gilbert Arenas, and Draymond Green to root for LeBron and help him move the goalposts a lot. So, again, it's sad seeing what Dre has become. Not saying that he got to go at LeBron physically and try to hurt him, but during the heyday, the golden era of the Golden State Warriors, before they became friends, it was competitive. Now, when he sees LeBron on the court, I believe he would rather LeBron win a championship over him just so he can try to surpass Michael Jordan's legacy. Draymond Green is going out sad. You might as well retire and just root for LeBron from his couch.
That's a fact, though.
That's a fact.
Wild. Like CP and James Harden.
Wild.
If they don't run into us, they probably do win a championship.
Or at least have a chance.
And so sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. But that don't mean them guys aren't great. And that don't mean Chris Paul not a winner. Chris Paul is a winner. He just couldn't quite. It's so many things that have to go right for you to win a champ. It's not just like, oh, I played good and it's not like objective.
Preach, bro.
It's not an objective. It's very James, subjective. Man. There's so many things
the power of LeBron
that have to fall into place for it to happen. And so to just lessen someone's greatness because of it, I think that's wrong. I'm not saying, again, that having the rings don't matter. It fucking matter. When I walk in a room, I feel great about the 4 rings. It's a different energy. Of course.
So go ahead and say that you don't agree with LeBron. It's okay. LeBron will still be your friend, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he'll feel a certain way. You don't get along with LeBron, whatever he says. Who knows? But at the end of the day, Dre, you got your championships, you got your money, you're in media. You don't got to be backing LeBron with whatever he says. I get it. You want to be a part of the new media, the new LeBron media, and just push all his narratives. But you're pretty much saying you agree with LeBron, but you disagree with LeBron. If Draymond Green walks into the room and doesn't have any championships and did all these antics, was it worth it? So Draymond is a champion, solid player, had a great career with Golden State. But I guarantee if he wasn't on Golden State, there wouldn't be a Draymond Green multiple-time champion. Maybe he can stay around and get one championship, but it's obvious without Golden State, Draymond just would have been one of those solid players that people remembered for getting technical fouls and kicking people and punching people. So it is what it is with Draymond. No surprises that he agrees with his king, LeBron James, and he'll do everything in his power to protect him.